Hey guys, Uncle Ted, your ice cream alchemist here with ice cream every day, and this is pumpkin spice cheesecake with walnuts, and on top of it I put a gingerbread whipped cream topping. It's actually gingerbread syrup that I whipped into some whipped cream. It's amazing stuff, and what I'm going to show you now is how to make the ice cream and how to make gingerbread syrup, which you can use in a lot of different things. And then I'll show you how to make the gingerbread whipped cream. It's very simple process. But I gotta tell you, this is very fall, very autumn. And you know what, if you want to make this for dessert, for your Thanksgiving dinner, then by all means, this would work. This is good stuff. And just want to say thank you so much for you guys watching. I appreciate everybody who's been making kind comments. I've been appreciating all the shared links. It means a lot to me, and I definitely wish that you guys were here so I could share. I would love to hook you up with a pint of this, but unfortunately you're not here, so I'll just have to, eat it for you. I'm good. I am. I'm good. I fail at just about everything else in life but ice cream. I'm good at ice cream. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk ingredients here. So I've got my pumpkin puree, because I took some pumpkins, I cooked them down, and I'm going to use 2 cups of this pumpkin puree, and I'm going to cook that with 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. That's 3 1/4 cups that I packed in, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of butter when I cook my pumpkin down and mashed in my brown sugar and get the moisture out, and I'll show you how I do that. And then for dairy, I've got my usual 2-to-1, so I got 2 cups of heavy cream and 1 cup of milk. It's whole milk, and then this is half a block of cream cheese. So just block of cream cheese, cut it in half, use that. So for sugar, that's 3/4 of a cup of white sugar, and then I've got half a cup of my non-dairy powdered milk, and then I've been using powdered vanilla powder, just because it seems to work better that way, and I'm using half a tablespoon. Now, if you're going to use regular vanilla extract, go ahead and use a tablespoon of that, and then of course I've got 1/8 of a teaspoon of guar gum, and so I'll be whisking that in the dairy mixture once I get it rolling. And so that's it for ingredients, really. It's nothing too spectacular. Walnuts, obviously, if you're going to use walnuts, I'm going to throw in 1/4 of a cup of finely chopped walnuts, and I'll show you how I do that when I start to actually put it in the ice cream maker. So let's go ahead and get the stuff rolling, shall we? Alright, so in my pan on medium heat, I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to let that melt before I put in my pumpkin. Alright, so once the butter's melted, we're going to go ahead and add our pumpkin. Believe it or not, I actually measured out this pumpkin. It measured to exactly 2 cups. How's that for luck? Now you can use canned pumpkin if you want. That's fine. Just make sure it's straight pumpkin and it doesn't have anything else in it, because you don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want anybody else, seasoning up your pumpkin. You just want to use your own. So just do it that way. And then we're going to go ahead and stir it this way. Now you'll notice that the pumpkin that I used actually had a lot of moisture in it. Don't dump that out. Use it. It's going to have flavor to it. We just don't want the water, but we want the the pumpkin flavor. So just go ahead and put that in, and what we'll do is it'll cook out. And we're going to keep this stirring, keep it moving. We're getting the moisture out of the pumpkin so it doesn't turn into ice crystals later on. But we need to cook it down a little bit. Once you get a lot of that moisture cooked out of your pumpkin, we're going to go ahead and add our brown sugar, that 3/4 cup of brown sugar that we packed up, and then we're going to get that in. Now this'll cook down, and you'll actually, since brown sugar has such a low melting point, this will actually, mixed with the moisture in the pumpkin, and boom, there you go, no more pumpkin crystals. Once you've got that in there, we'll add our cream cheese, because we're adding the cream cheese at this point. So just go ahead and put in your cream cheese. I cubed it up so that it would mix in a little easier. And this will make things a lot easier when I, stir it around. Alright, take it, do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then eventually, it'll all be incorporated. Alright, so we've got it cooked down. We've got most of the moisture taken out of this. And so now, it's time to incorporate our dairy. And so what I'm going to do now is dump in our dairy. Look at all the moisture we got out of this. Isn't that great? This is what's going to concentrate flavor, is getting that moisture out. So you see those vapors coming up? That's a good thing. That means we're getting the vapors out and we're getting that moisture out. As I always say, moisture is the enemy. By the way, if your cream ever has any of that coagulation, don't worry about it. It's still good. All that is butter fat, so don't worry about it. It's good stuff. It just means it's been, sitting in one place. No one's taking it and shaking it once in a while, which that happens. I don't go in and shake my dairy all the time, so sometimes it kind of coagulates a little bit. So be it, right? All that is butter fat. It's good butter fat too. Good Wisconsin butter fat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to make your ice cream awesome. Now, I've got the dairy in. I'm going to go ahead and get this heated up before I go in and add the next step. That's going to be the sugar and the dry milk. But I want to make sure that I get this back up to temperature. Now, when I was going over ingredients, I forgot about the cinnamon, because I do use a teaspoon of cinnamon with this, and I kind of forgot to mention it. So, yeah, teaspoon of cinnamon in your dry ingredients. And now that this is up to temp, start whisking that in. Cinnamon always likes to ride to the top and float. Don't worry about it, just keep whisking. It'll eventually incorporate. It's okay. And remember, like I said about adding your dry ingredients, you don't want to add it all at once because it'll lump up on you. And that's a problem. So, to keep it from lumping up, just add it in batches and incorporate. And that is about it. I'm going to whisk this all in, make sure it's all incorporated. Now you'll notice that there are small lumps of cream cheese in here. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Really, it tastes good in the ice cream. It works. Little lumps of cream cheese. Yeah. It's good stuff. But we're just going to keep whisking. We're going to keep incorporating everything. And by the time you've got everything properly incorporated into your base, this will be up to temp and it'll be done. After that, just take it and put it in the fridge overnight. That looks and smells great, by the way. Too bad you're not here. Everybody that has a cooking show always talks about smell-o-vision. That's true. This smells wonderful. It tastes wonderful. I wish you were nearby. I would hook you up with a pint. Alright, so now that I've got the raw taste cooked out of the dairy, everything has been incorporated as well as it's going to be, I'm going to take this off the heat. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to put this in a bowl. This is going in the fridge. Now, like I always say, when you put it in the fridge, take a piece of plastic and put it over your bowl, and I'll show you how I do that here, because you want to make sure you don't have a skin form on top of your dairy base. So this is what I mean by making sure that you've got the wrap touching your base. By doing this, when you put it in the fridge, a skin won't form over the top. And so we just put this in the fridge overnight, let it cool properly, and then tomorrow I'm going to try out my new ice cream maker.